Hello and welcome to Laurie's Realm. My name is Laurie, and we are continuing this episode in the Feminine Stargate series. And yesterday was episode 1. Today we're doing episode 2, Star Tribes and the Feminine Stargate Reclaiming Sovereignty Through Feeling. So if episode 1 was about remembering the goddess lineage in the body, this episode is about what happens after remembrance begins. Because remembrance alone is not enough, the next phase is sovereignty. So, sovereignty, especially in the feminine, does not come through control, dominance, or mental clarity. It comes through feeling. What sovereignty really means, and not the spiritual myth. Sovereignty is not being unbothered or being high vibe and emotionally neutral, or being spiritually superior, or even being untouchable. That's called a spiritual ego. The feminine stargate is not a portal in the sky. It's a living interface inside the body. So it's in your body, guys. It's not actually a portal in the sky. And the womb space, it's in the womb space, physical or energetic, and the spinal channel, the vagus nerve, the sensory system. And this is not poetic language. This is neurological and energetic reality. So the feminine stargate opens when sensation is allowed, emotion is not suppressed, the body is listened to, and the nervous system exits survival mode. And when this happens, ancient information becomes accessible again. So, star tribes and what they are, they're not fantasy either, okay? So let's get this clear. Let's clear this right up right now. Star tribes are not escapism, identity label, or specialness, being from somewhere else. Star tribes are fields of consciousness memory. They are ancient intelligence pattern, ways of perceiving reality, frequencies of organization and coherence, non-hierarchical wisdom systems. So let's get that out of we're not crazy, okay? It's actually ancient intelligence. It lives inside of us. It's lived experience. Star tribe memory activates as a sudden intolerance for domination, a deep pull towards coherence and truth, a remembering of collective rather than individual survival, a sense this world can work differently. This memory activates only when sovereignty returns. So why feeling is the key? Science and experience. Here is a fact. The body processes 11 million bits of information per second. The conscious mind processes about 40. Feeling is not irrational. It is high-speed intelligence. When you reclaim feeling, you exit trauma-based decision-making. You stop repeating unconscious relational patterns. You become responsive instead of reactive. You sense truth before words form. In my own experience, reclaiming feeling meant like no longer gaslighting my body, leaving environments that felt wrong even if they looked good, letting grief move instead of freezing, and trusting discomfort as guidance, not failure. Big. So that's sovereignty. So what happens when we reclaim sovereignty is, oh gosh, this part is so important because sovereignty changes your life. It literally changes your life. Honestly, and I know because my life has changed so much since I've worked my way back to sovereignty and started remembering again. This part is important because sovereignty changes your life in your relationships. So your relationships start to change. You stop explaining yourself excessively. You tolerate less emotional incoherence. You stop abandoning yourself to keep connection. And you attract relationships based on presence and not trauma bonding. Number 2, your thinking changes. You think slower, clearer. You stop obsessing. You trust internal timing. You stop outsourcing authority. Your thoughts align with sensation instead of overriding it. And a 3rd, your body becomes a guide. Hunger, rest, boundaries, they all become so much clearer. Your body says yes or no before your mind even does. You stop forcing spiritual practices, and you listen instead of push. So you start listening more instead of pushing. I did a lot of pushing. Oh God, it's so tiring. You'll get much more rest when you just find that sovereignty. And your connection to star tribes also deepens. Star tribe intelligence doesn't speak in words. It speaks through like pattern recognition, felt coherence and sudden knowing, collective awareness, and time fluid perception. So it becomes accessible only when the nervous system is regulated enough to receive it. The feminine difference in Star Tribe remembrance, like the masculine, like the difference between the feminine Star Tribe remembrance and the masculine often remembers through vision, structure, direction, linear insight, and the feminine remembers through sensation, cycles and emotions, embodied resonance. So this is why feeling is the gateway. Not feeling as chaos, but feeling as data. So why this changes in how you live. So I just wish everybody would just want to live this way. I don't understand why they don't. When sovereignty returns, you stop chasing awakening, you stop proving your worth, and you stop fragmenting yourself. You stop overriding exhaustion, and you stop ignoring red flags. Life becomes simpler and slower, more precise, more honest, and less performative. And this is the Feminine Stargate fully online and activated. So when you're feeling all those changes in your life, you know you have activated the Feminine Stargate. And here's a short embodiment practice we can do right now, and you can practice it later if you want. It's really short and easy. So you could place one hand on your womb space or your lower belly and one hand on your heart, and sit somewhere where it's quiet, and you can do this alone later if you feel or you choose. And while you're putting your hand on your womb space and one hand on your heart, ask quietly, what do I feel right now, without changing it. So you don't try and fix it, just sit with the feeling. No story, just sensation. This is sovereignty training. So in our final episode, Womb of the Cosmos, a Stargate rebirth transition, we move from teaching into direct experience. We'll allow the body to integrate goddess lineage, Star Tribe remembrance, sovereignty through feeling, not as an idea, but as a felt rebirth. And until then, listen to your body. If it remembers far more than you were taught to trust, it does. It just really does remember far, far more than you thought or you were taught to trust. We weren't taught this. This is why we have to learn to trust it. You are not becoming something new. You are returning to what was never lost. Okay, so all this is inside. So I do thank you for listening, and tomorrow will be the meditation. So we will do that final episode of this series with the Womb of the Cosmos, a Stargate rebirth transition, tomorrow night at the same time. I'll see you then. And we'll integrate all that goddess lineage and Star Tribe remembrance, sovereignty through feeling. And with that, have an excellent night. And don't forget to do that little practice tonight. It really, just sit with it. Don't try and decipher it.